What would the world be like in 2021? As we look back in 2020, it was the year of unprecedented things. We had an COVID, we had situations all over the world, we had businesses facing their greatest crisis, aviation industry, hospitality industry facing the greatest challenge of it all. It isn't just to the economy, but even to students. They're faced with a whole new disruption to their learnings because many students were forced to study from home. What about parents? Parents struggle because they have to deal with work and family in a more sophisticated way than ever before. Businesses all over the world face a challenge that is unseen for many decades, and that challenge tests the limits, the adaptability, the flexibility of leaders. The real test of leadership isn't in peacetime, but it's in times of crisis where the true test of leadership really arise. One of the things that here at Coaching Changes Lives we always do, we gather like-minded leaders together. Thought leaders, leaders of businesses of different departments, different industries, to shed light, to share their wisdom across different sectors, across different demographics, to really create something masterful and powerful for the rest of the world. Here at Coaching Changes Lives, we always bring forth new ideas, new concepts. And one of the things that we want to do this morning, or in fact this morning fresh from 2021, it's really about this word. What is that one word we're going to step into for 2021? What is your word? Well, if 2020 were to sum up in just one word, which many people have said is unprecedented, what would be your word as we enter 2021? So we come to you fresh with this live message, and I think it's going to bless your heart because one of the things that many people have asked me is, hey Jedi, every year that we come, it seems like the year over year again, new things are arising that we've not seen. Things that seems unprecedented are now the commonplace. Normalcy is no longer normal. Things are no longer the same as they used to be. Today people talk about the new normal. Well, next year there'll be new normal. So how do we face the world? Because the world is no longer like an iron rice bowl like it used to be many decades ago. Now, with the ever-changing landscape, environment, people, interactions, communities, things are changing really fast, really rapidly. So one of the things that I truly believe that must happen in 2021 is this idea revolving around fearlessness. To be fearless. And I call 2021 a year of fearlessness. 2020 has been marked with a year of fearfulness. And 2021 will be a test for us to be fearless, to face the greatest challenge that mankind has ever faced, so that together we can emerge stronger, better, faster, wiser. Now, if anything has taught us this year was that not to take anything for granted, not to take peace for granted. Down through historical data, we have seen time again civilizations in the midst of peace face the darkest trial. When I look at this, I see history repeating itself across many different timelines, across many different time periods, where there are periods of peace, but it's during those periods of peace what we do with those peacetime that truly matters. But now we're seeing an increase emerging challenges that's not just facing locally but globally. Even students, they are faced with a whole new area of challenge. What used to be after their studies, they're able to find a job. Now, job security becomes one of the greatest challenges for graduating students. And not just that, even mid-career changes as well. So as we enter this year, my question to you is, what is your word for 2021? What is the theme for your life, for your work for 2021? Now, I will always say this, the way to think about that, it's first get out a piece of paper. And what I want you to draw is 3 circles. On a piece of paper, draw 3 circles. The very first circle, I call it your work. Okay, your work, your careers, your jobs. So in that circle, I want you to write a few things relating to your work, about your job, about your career, about your work. I want you to write, what do you want to see happen for 2021? Not what you don't want to see, but write what you do want to see. Now you see, too often many people say, well, I don't want, to be laid off. I don't want to be retrenched. I don't want to create another setback. I don't want my business to stay still. I don't want my business to get out of business. So too often, many people have the word or the language of I don't want. But rather, let's change it. Let's reframe that to what I do want. I want you to consider right now, what do you want for 2021? Now, in that little circle, I want you to put there at least 3 things that you want for your business, your work, your career, or your job. Now, notice there's different words that I use: career, jobs, business. Why? Because some of us are in a career. Some of us are getting a job, or we may be in multiple jobs. Some of us may have work or may have projects. Some of us may be self-employed, or you may be running a business. So whichever that is, whichever life stage that is, that you're doing work, I want you to write 3 things that you want to see happen for you. Good. Next, I want you to draw another circle that intersects with this very first circle, and in that circle, I want you to write down the word relationships. Relationships. Now, relationships can involve your relationships with your spouse, your loved ones, your family, your children, or your friends. So I want you to write down 3 things there. 3 things you want to see happen for your relationships. Now, many people have said this year has been the greatest challenge ever because we've lived in a world that's globally connected. Our friends, our families might be all over the world. I know that some of us have loved ones that are not in the same country or locality as you, and because of the pandemic, you have not seen each other for at least over a year. So write down in that little circle, what do you want for your relationships? 3 things. Take a moment right now to write them down, and whenever you're ready, let's take a look at the 3rd circle. Now this 3rd circle, I want you to draw an intersect between your work, your careers, and your relationships. Now in this 3rd circle, it's a critical circle. Yes, you guessed it. This 3rd circle is none other than self. Self. How do you want to develop yourself? How do you want to see yourself grow? How do you want to grow yourself from within? What version of you would you like to see come 2021? Now you may ask, you say, Jedi, why is it so important for us to look at who we are and what we have become? Shouldn't we just be happy of where we are? Well, the truth is this. We can be better versions of ourselves if we want to, or we can stay the same. My challenge to leaders, to coaches, to speakers, to individuals all around the world is this. Every day, there's a gift that is being bestowed upon us. And that gift is the gift of time, it's that gift of grace, it's that gift of love. And what do we do with that gift truly matters. Because we can spend a day just on things that don't really matter, or we can spend a day on things that truly matter. One of the things that here at Coaching Changes Lives we often say is this. We say that every single conversation truly matters. And the reason we get into different troubles, we get into different fights, quarrels, bickerings, and sometimes we get into arguments, it's because we are standing for something. So imagine this. If we don't care about anything, we won't quarrel about anything. The reason we quarrel, the reason we argue, because we truly care and we stand for something. All of us have that innate nature within us because we believe in something. This self is an evidence of what you truly believe in, your values, your core, your principles, who you are on the inside of you. Many people say, well, Jedi, do I really need to find myself? Well, the truth is that it's a journey. Life is a journey. Life is never about the destination, it's about that journey. And I've been asked before, I said, what's the difference between journey and destination? Well, the destination, it's a point. The journey, it's that pathway. And your destiny is wrapped up in multiple destinations. So whichever destinations you may take a pause and stop, it's always great at the start of the year to just take a moment to pause, to ruminate, to think about your vision for 2021. Because this vision that you have will truly make a change in how you will shape your world. I had people listening to my videos, listening to my audios as well, and say to me, Jedi, just your message alone had really changed my life. And you know what? It doesn't really matter if one person hears this message or two. It doesn't really matter if no one listens to this. But you know what? As I'm speaking this out, I'm speaking over myself. I'm speaking life. I'm speaking wisdom. I'm speaking a blessing over myself. Because you know what? One of the key things that as a self, as an individual, that we ought to do is to spend time speaking over ourselves. What do you last say to yourself when you look yourself in the mirror? Do you say words like, you're getting old. Oh, your memory is bad. You should have been this. You should have done that. You could have been better. Do we beat ourselves up, or do we build ourselves up? Too often, many people have said, beat ourselves up until we lose motivation, we lose our drive. And I tell coaches this. I said our role as coaches is to help our clients not to beat themselves up, but to build themselves up. Because your very words create worlds. Your very words create worlds. So if your words are always that of fear, worry, you build a world about fear and worry. There was a story of a giant. I shared this many times before, about David and Goliath. The children of Israel saw Goliath, and Goliath came down the valley of Elah, and he was shouting, screaming, yelling. And when everyone saw that, they were afraid, they were fearful. But when little David, the shepherd boy, saw Goliath, everyone saw the same thing. But David's interpretation was totally different. His approach was, give me this giant, I'm more than able. Everyone said it's impossible, but he saw different. You know why he saw different? Because he spoke different. And that's the power of the self. There was another incident when there was a group of spies. Moses sent out 12 spies to spy out the land, the promised land. 10 came back with a report that says, well, the giants are big, we're like grasshoppers in their sight. 2 came back with a good report, Joshua and Caleb, the 2. They came back and said, hey, you know what? They're giant, they're produced, the grapes are huge, the houses are big, this land is more than able, let's conquer this land. It's a good land, it's a promised land. You see, the very same land that's seen by this 12, 2 had a different sight. 10 had a different sight. And this tells me something. In the world where there's chaos and worry and crisis, the majority will always see darkness. But it takes the beacon of hope that's within you to see that light. It takes a coach, it takes a leader who says, you know what, I ain't gonna back down, I ain't gonna back away. I'm gonna push it through, I'm gonna push forward. No matter what happens, no matter what comes my way, I'm just gonna stand on the wings of eagles and soar. My role is not to flap like chickens. My role is to soar up high on eagle's wings. Fly up high. In the midst of the storm, what do I say to the storm? Do I face the storm head on, or do I scowl in fear? And that's why self, it's so important. What do we say to ourselves? It's really important. So the third circle, I want you to draw that intersects between your work career and your relationships. I want you to write the word self. Put your name there. So I'll put my name Jedi there. And I want you to write 3 things that you want to do for yourself this coming year. Now, by the time you hear this recording, we are in 2021. And I'm going to release this at the stroke of midnight of 2021 because you know what? It's a joy. It's always a blessing and a joy to be a part of something exciting. We are always building, we are always creating. And I want to co-create this experience with all of us here. So if you're tuning in to this audio in this middle of the night, I want to encourage you to listen in and say, hey, I want you to see those intersections right now. Okay, you have them. Now, there is an intersection between your work, career, and yourself. There is an intersection between your work, career, and your relationships. There is an intersection between yourself and your relationships. So there are 3 intersections. In those 3 intersections, I want you to write down one thing that you can find a common thread between those areas. One thing that you can find a common thread between those 2 areas. So take a moment right now in those 3 areas to pen them down. Good. Now, we have our third area, which is right in the middle, the intersection of these 3. Okay, the intersection between yourself, relationships, your working careers. So in that intersection lies something, lies that spirit, lies that core that drives every single thing. So I want you to right now look across all your different circles, all the intersections, and I want you to identify one word. That word, I want you to identify what is that common thread between all those words that you can find. Pen that word down right now in the middle. See if you can identify that one word that truly resonates with you, with your heart right now. You can feel it. You can say, as you read this word, yeah, that is the word. Yeah, I'm getting it. I'm getting closer. That is the word that truly resonates with me. When I was doing this exercise, the word that came out to me really strongly was this word called fearless. Fearless leadership. In 2021, as we take Coaching Changes Lives to a whole new level, it's not about just trying to scale for scaling's sake. It's not about trying to expand for expanding's sake. No. We're going to build a community that is so strong, that's so powerful, that is first the people, because people truly matters. Are we building a business just for monetary sense, or are we building a legacy? To me, every single people matter, every single life matter, every single individual matter, because everyone has a dream worth living. Everyone has a story worth telling. There are 7 billion people on planet Earth, each with its own unique story, each with its own unique dreams. All of you have a dream, and I truly encourage you, if you're listening to this as you're walking, as you're driving, maybe you're just listening as you're going to bed, I want you to think about, what is your dream for yourself? Have you thought about, if you could dream of anything, what is that one dream that you could have? Many people have said to me, say, Jedi, why should we dream? Dreaming is unrealistic. That's the most unrealistic thing. We should do what's practical. We should do what's in our face right now. But you know something? To dream is a gift. To dream is a gift. Because sometimes the best creative ideas spring forth in our greatest dreams. Sometimes the most interesting thoughts that we ever had came from that one place, dreams. Dreams, it's so powerful. Dreams break barriers. Dreams break every notions of impossibilities. Dreams break the limits of innovation, of creativity. Dreams break every structural barrier and say, hey, you know what? I may be caught up in gravity, but you know what? I ain't falling down. I'm going to soar high. I'm going to fly. You call me in, but I'm going to soar. Your dream have wings, and it's able to take you to places you never thought of. Now, right now, look at the middle of this tree intersection. Do you see your word there? Good. That word becomes your word for the year. I want you to use this paper and paste it somewhere. Maybe in your journal, in your wall, translate it onto slides, add colors to it, beautify it, modify it, make it your own. Make this your own piece of work. Now, maybe you're a coach listening to this. If you're a coach and you're one of our students here at Coaching Changes Lives, I encourage you to do this with your clients, with yourself. because this is a very powerful exercise. I call this the fearless exercise or the fearless leadership exercise. It's a very powerful moment because that's when you find the threads that weave together. And sometimes I see this. One of the key challenge for leaders or leadership, it's first self-leadership. How we lead ourselves. Because guess what? It doesn't matter how well I lead people around me. If I can't lead myself well, I would have been the greatest failure. Because you know what? If I'm a public success but a private failure, I failed every single thing. Now, no one's perfect. We are always working on issues that we face. All of us have issues. Everyone has issues. And it's okay to be issues. We don't glorify issues, but we recognize that there are issues, challenges, situations that we're still growing. No one has ever reached a place that we have done it all, we have reached it all, we have arrived. No, we are always on this growing journey. And it humbles me to learn from the people around me. And you know what? One of the secrets at Coaching Changes Lives, it's about building a strong community. Building a strong community involves communication and a unity of voice. What do we mean by that? Well, the diversity of ideas, thoughts, personalities, people, cultures. Here in Coaching Changes Lives, we have coaches from all over the world who join us for our program. Coaches, leaders, individuals, parents, children. You know what? Coaching skills are not just meant for coaches. It's meant for everyone. Because today, if you're a leader, you are also a coach, and it's important for you to learn some coaching competencies. Now, this is so critical for us growing up. Many people say, do I really need it? Well, I tell them, I say, it's not whether do you need it, you want it. Self-leadership is key. And fearlessness, this sense of fearless leadership, it's so crucial. And one of the crucial conversations that I want you to have with yourself and with your team, it's about this notion of having fearless conversations. This year, we'll be embarking on this theme about fearless leadership. Fearless communication, fearless conversation, fearless listening, fearless speaking. I want you to speak to your greatest giants that you face today. Whatever your greatest giants are, this year, you will bring forth your fearless strength, your fearless power. In the midst of all this chaos, you will find courage to face your greatest giants. One of the things that I often say this, if we want to change, change begins with self. But sometimes it's tough if we're by ourselves. And that's why the notion of community, it's so powerful. In the community, there's strength, there's security, there's accountability, there is safety. In the counsel of many, there's wisdom as well, and there's safety. And I want to encourage you, join a community, join a team, be part of a movement. Here at Coaching Changes Lives, we are reaching out to corporates, organizations, businesses, individuals, lives, governmental projects. We worked with institutes, communities, children, the less privileged. Why are we doing all this? We are building a movement. We want to raise and grow and train 1 million coaches around the world to create a masterful conversation with every single individual on planet Earth. Why? Because we truly believe there's power in conversations. One conversation can literally change someone's life. Sometimes, when you come across people who might be depressed, they might be saddened by the things around them. But your word of encouragement, your fearless coaching, your fearless conversation lifts them up. Your fearless words supports them, inspires them, leads them on, pushes them forward. My word to you today is this: fearless. Be fearless. Now, let not this word just be a word for today. Let this word be your word, your song for the entire year. I want you to look at areas in your life where you can apply these fearless principles. I'm going to give you one principle for you to think about this evening or this morning. And that principle is this: fearless conversations. Have fearless conversations. What do we mean by that? Now, sometimes when we face certain challenges and difficulties, we would tend to cower, or we tend to get into our comfort zone, and we never quite face them. I want you to begin having fearless conversations with yourself first. Speak to yourself, speak over yourself. Perhaps when you look at yourself in the mirror, when was the last time you said, "Hey, you're looking good, you're looking gorgeous"? Now, we're not trying to be narcissists here. We're not trying to be egomaniac. No, we're just speaking forth. We're trying to grow our confidence. So I want you to have fearless conversations with yourself, with your loved ones, with your teams, with your organization. Fearless leadership begins first with fearless conversations. Every single word truly matters because your word creates worlds. My encouragement to all of us here listening to this, I want to thank you because you got all the way through here, is this: speak, lead, coach. Every single conversation truly matters. This year, I'm going to launch my long-awaited book because there's something going to be powerful, it's going to be life-impacting. Because we truly believe that every single conversation matters because coaching changes lives. And I hope this message has inspired you. Probably it has helped you to get some ideas about your theme for the year. But what I really want you to do is that this message will speak to your heart and go beyond just the logic, beyond the rationality, but to really create something that's truly meaningful. Because I truly believe that every conversation that we have is a conversation birthed in dreams, birthed out of greatness, birthed out of our deepest values and beliefs. You have a gift. There's greatness within you. The potential for greatness lies in you. This year, let's rise up. Let's experience what a fearless year it should be. And I will look forward to seeing you in our upcoming videos. Tune in, subscribe to this channel, because every single week I'll come to you fresh with new ideas, new insights about coaching, about conversations. I'll bring on board guests to share a few ideas, and hopefully we can change the world one conversation at a time. So if you like what you hear, leave a thumbs up, share with me in the comment section below what you enjoyed about this video, about this audio, and I hope this truly inspires you. Share this with a friend. Let them know about this recording that you came across, and I hope this has helped you to think about what a fearless leader it should be. I will see you really soon at Coach Chin's Lives. Stay tuned and God bless.